This map is cooked. Here we go, the magnum opus of Occula. But that's alright, I'm going to take you through it. There's a lot of hard fights in this map. There's a lot of different route options, which I think is really cool, but I'll take you through it all here. Now we start off nicely. We got to play with the minigun here. Didn't really get to do much in map 1. You do get to do it in map 2, but we'll talk about that after. I'm just cleaning up a little bit here, take out those sniper revs and stuff, just get a little foothold on the map here. Now, you might be wondering where map 2 is. For whatever reason, I'm just kind of not in the mood to route and grind that right now. It's not a very difficult map or anything. It's pretty sprawling, and so I don't really have like a route for it, what to do when or anything, and the secrets and stuff. Just haven't gotten around to it, but maybe soon, maybe not, I don't know. But what I think, for me, I feel is most important is to do this map. So as we do this a little bit, we gotta, I like to wake up those revs, start them up, and bring them out, because what's going on is there's a archvile around the corner, and get those corpses out of the way for one thing, but also make it so that I can just get in there and focus on the archvile. 2 mancubi, teleport away there, and we can focus the archvile. Now, so what I was saying with this map, I actually, back in the day, I had gotten mad at Bemused, and I wrote this long-winded, explanation of all, multiple fights that pissed me off, that I thought were too much and too unfair. But, not much has changed in the map, but I've got a demo here, so, feels like redemption for me. I had spent a bunch of time routing it back then and practicing it, and I decided not to do it back then. But here we are, we're back for redemption. So clean up this paint elemental here, just these little incidental things here to get the map started. It's all about presentation, isn't it? I really appreciate that, because I'd much rather have this kind of thing, instead of just fight to fight, you know what I mean? Yeah, use that to switch to the chain gun and then take out this paint elemental. Now I've actually had some attempts where I forgot to kill this paint elemental, and then he just comes behind me while I'm doing this area and just packs the place. But yeah, I always prefer when you build it up a little bit in the same map, build up to the fights a little bit. Instead of just kind of, going from room to room, or you walk in and there's 3 separate paths right in front of you to choose, get the 3 keys, press the switch that requires all 3 keys, and then do the finale, you know what I mean? Nothing wrong with that, but what makes a map really nice and memorable is something like this, when it's interconnected. There's different clear different areas to go to, so that's something that I personally just really like about it. Yeah, now for this area, this fight, you can actually come back with BFG in the future, but I didn't know that at the time. I didn't actually think through the route enough, and I'm just suffering here with plasma and rocket launcher, but that's alright. So this is how I do it, is I throw 4 rockets at that Mancubus, and he actually survived. But regardless, there is a Mancubus that spawns in his place when he dies anyway, but it usually buys you a few seconds in between. That's alright. So I try to stay on that side of the room just enough that I can push around here, get that soul sphere if I need it, and then make my way to this safe corner here. And then these imps can be like a meat shield for this cyber, and you spend a little time and just watch those infighting rockets. It's better to take the rev missile that hit me than to take a infighting rocket there. Okay. Let's make our way around here and just clean up with rocket launcher. So yeah, the thing about the routes, something worth mentioning as we do the cleanup here, is that there is a secret fight for a BFG, and you can do that fight and get the BFG. You can take it here, and you can make another encounter easier, which I'll mention. It's the one where you would get the BFG normally. So I'll try to call these things out when I get to that point. I just feel like, kind of laying the groundwork here at the beginning is nice and helpful. Clean up this last cyber with plasma here. And then something worth mentioning is the switch that's right here makes it so the cyber can get out and walk around and infight. So if that's something that you think might help you in this fight, that's an option too. But not for me. I didn't feel it was necessary. Maybe save some ammo too, but anyway, that's just kind of how I did things. And then little encounter here, and when we drop down, this pain elemental and this Baron. So I kind of appreciate that. Maybe it like turned your attention to take a look at that switch that's back there for the next fight. But yeah, the next thing is to do the secret. So you have to do that. You press the switch and then run around and cross a line def. That opens up this window, drop down, and you get a secret megasphere right there. Secret megasphere is helpful for this fight. This is the fight for the red key. Once you do this fight, that's basically when the map is going to open up. So this fight is really critical, and so it's super nice to have an extra megasphere for this, because you'll have to do this fight no matter what. And no, you can't come back to this with BFG or anything. Even the BFG is required. You have to do this fight. So after you do this fight, that's when you get pretty much the option to either go and start taking care of the secret fights, or just continue to progress in the map normally. So we did the crowd control thing, pushed around with the plasma, pushed through any revs that I needed to. It's a tough fight, no matter what way you slice it. Nothing too crazy, nothing too out of the ordinary, but it's definitely significant there. Definitely died here sometimes. Yeah. Just gonna clean up a little bit here. Now, I'm not just gonna use SSG on everything that's in the room. I want to save some cells. Cells are the biggest resource that I'm trying to save throughout this map. But do a little bit to just make it so that this isn't painful to watch and to play. But yeah. Last couple of guys here. There. I'll go ahead and use chain gun just to clean up these imps. I find that easier than waiting for the SSG to reload every time. Grab that megasphere. On really good runs, I can actually save that megasphere, but this time I took a ton of damage right at the beginning of the fight because the revs had spread out. At the beginning, those first rockets that I shot, I've actually had it so good where I would be killing those revs every time they spawn in, like every single one that spawned in. But yeah. Anyway. So something to mention here, really important, after you're done with that fight, turn around and press this switch. You can even press it while you're at the bottom of the lift from infinite height, but make sure to press that switch because it opens up a secret, and yeah, I didn't do it. You'll see me do a little wandering around later, and I'll call it out. But yeah, after you do the fight that we just did, that opens up this red key, and once you get the red key, now you can get the BFG, the one on the normal progression. So you press that switch, and here we are, Mank, and just one chain gunner around here. Go ahead and hit that. Now, this BFG spawns in 2 cybers. So that's another advantage that you would get if you did the other route. The other route would make it so that you have, you don't have to do this fight with cybers, but you'll have BFG to take out all of this stuff and keep nice control over the fight. No infighting rockets, nothing like that right there. So that's one advantage that you will get doing that route. And of course, aim for the pain elementals, because I always think about that with a fight like this with all kind of mix of enemies. It's like, well, what do I kill to make the most space, make it so I can move around more freely, So when you kill revs in a fight, for example, you don't have to do those kind of those kind of curves with your movement. You don't have to be as careful with that. So that's something to think about. And pain elementals, makes if you kill a pain elemental, you've made a lot of space in the room. Now, something I want to call out here is this move. So it's good to know if you're ever having to do that really late into a run. So if Cyber is infighting an enemy and the enemy dies, but he's still shooting those last couple of rockets, usually what people do is they shoot a BFG, and just the BFG ball hits the Cyber, and you just stand there right close to him, let him take all the tracers in his side or in his back. But what's better to do is hit a wall and let the tracers hit him, because if you're unlucky, you could stun him with the BFG ball. He will turn around and shoot at you, because as long as his target is dead, he can just do that. Anyway, we're back here grabbing some resources, those cells that I saved there, and we'll go ahead and go to the first secret encounter. Now, something that's good to know is that that BFG that I had mentioned, where the secret fight is, if you do that secret fight, which I'll call out which one it is, if you do that fight before this one, you will have replacement revs on every single one of these like teleporter looking things behind me, so it'll be a second rev each time. Not a big deal. You get you'll have to spam more, it'll waste more ammo, but it's not the craziest thing in the world. It's definitely an option if you feel that doing that one secret fight is worth it to you, doing it early is worth it to you. But yeah, I liked doing this fight and having this fight be really simple like that. But yeah, basically at this point, I'm just gonna go around and do all these little secret encounters and one big like scary secret fight. Okay, so here we are. So here's this encounter. Now I kind of butchered this. My goal was I wanted to save that soul sphere and also kill the pain elemental and the archvile with one BFG shot, but I failed. Something that I do sometimes, the better thing to do is if I'm just gonna grab that soul sphere, what I would do is I would stand here and then I would shoot so that the pain elemental comes out, BFG ball hits the pain elemental, and then I stand here and the tracers kill the archvile. You know, that'll force you to grab this supercharge, but that's a much smoother way of doing it. You do a second BFG shot to kill the lost souls, and then you pull out your rocket launcher and clean up, and you saved a lot of cells. But because of how I did there, I just needed to spend more cells and just save my life. So that was what I did. Okay, more resources again for the next encounter here. Yeah, I saw those cells that I dropped down, but I was like, nah, it's all right. Let me just go down here and get the cells from here, not waste time going up. Now again, you know, here I needed to press the switch that's behind me that I pointed out to you, and I'll see that the secret is closed. So it's annoying. Had to go around again, but hey, it's an opportunity to optimize it, you know, for the next person that maxes this map and beat my time. Yeah, so there I hit the switch. I hit it from infinite height. Now here we go. So just a couple more cells and then this megasphere. Now for this fight, be careful with this cyber. You know, the strategy is to take out the cyber first, but you know, don't be too aggressive unless you do this first or something, because you know, if you do this first, I mean, by all means, like you can you know, do what you want, but I recommend just being a little bit careful with that guy, moving around to try to like avoid the damage from the guys behind you and all that. But yeah, now this is only the first phase. There's gonna be more that opens up, so we need to get really good health, and this was amazing health, exceptional health, and really high like amount of cells here too. So I spent extra cells cleaning up some of these guys, making this fight a little easier on myself there. But oftentimes, usually what would happen is when the second phase of this opens, I gotta grab the soul sphere that's right there as one of the first things, but because of how well this went, I've got 2 extra soul spheres and I'm feeling pretty good. So just kind of moving around, watch those cybers so you don't take any big splash damage or any infighting rockets or anything. Went ahead and grabbed that because I was in the 120s. Now don't kill this spider mastermind. Let her work for you a little bit. She didn't work for me very much, but that's all right. That was the third phase at this point now, and these pain elementals spawn in, and a couple more cell packs lower there. So go ahead and kill the pain elementals. Try to, you know, group them up like that, and then take out the lost souls, because you'll make a whole lot more space for yourself in this fight, and you'll be good. Then I recommend throwing a couple BFG shots at those revs so that you have some more like ability to maneuver and just kind of focus on these Hell Knights and Cybers, you know, because they just shoot straight projectiles instead of homing projectiles. And then this is too much. Like, I'm not just gonna sit and rocket all of that. I wanted to do some BFG to just kind of speed things up a bit, get things going. Something for me is a lot of times in these fights, if I spend way too much time being too slow and too careful, I can end up dying just from being in the encounter for longer. You know, I feel like just the longer I'm in a particular fight, like the more, I feel like the more chance I'm gonna just die. So die or just mess up something. So anyway, this is good. This fight went like exceptionally well, and this is one that you know, you can do this one early if you like have a lot of trouble with this one. You know, you can get it out of the way as one of the first things, and you know, do the route like I was talking to you about. But yeah, once the revs are gone, go ahead and take out these cybers as part of the cleanup, And then, of course, the room is significantly safer that way. Last guy, give him a nice point blank. And then over here, I saw those cells and I wanted to grab them before I left. But now this, I got to take out these snipers. I mean, that's the scariest thing to me, is like getting to the end of this map and then having one of these alive or something. So I double and triple check, just to make sure. But yeah, so all good, all clear, and hit that switch. Out of here. I've got one other scary fight, so that's a big choke point, that fight that I just did, and this is another one. Now I've got you know, more cells here, so we can be maxed out on ammo here, which is nice. Not a big deal with this one because you get a lot of ammo in this fight, but yeah. Come over here, make a big jump out here, and drop all the way down. The invisibility fight. So this is interesting. You start off and you've got these 3 cybers back here, and you've got a whole bunch of revs and imps over there spawning in. Now what I do is I go in for those cybers, because what's going to happen is after a little bit, the cybers will actually get released, and you will get invisibility at the same time. So I feel like the best thing to do is take out the cybers, and that's it. I was super lucky that I didn't die there to those rev missiles, and I got to make it to the megasphere there, so that was really good. And you know, having like a decent amount of health coming in here was super helpful, and then I was able to end up saving a megasphere until the end. So you'll see how much advantage that gives me. Then come around and take out those arch files. Next order of business. Yeah, a lot of cells there. Some of those cells are actually stacks, not just one, so that's nice too. But yeah, you're invisible at this point, and I'm just, you know, I really like to just not have any cybers dealing with me there. But I'm careful with those cybers just a little bit. You know, I don't necessarily get all the way in their faces, unless like the guy on the right side is shooting, then I may get in his face. But yeah, I just, you know, I gotta be aggressive, but also kind of pace myself, killing those cybers, and then can take control of the rest of the fight. Yeah, now we're done with the first half. So this is another, you know, the other like sort of half of the map that I think of. You know, at this point, 2 really hard fights are out of the way, so I'm feeling pretty good. But yeah, I appreciate these revs here. Somebody in the world maybe saw that switch, that like hidden switch out of the corner of their eye. Now this fight's interesting. You know, I hit that switch and that starts the fight. The 2 switches that you're seeing there, they actually make it so at some point I'm going to turn around, you're going to see that there are bars there blocking the cybers. So right there, those bars. So what you can do is with these switches, it lowers those bars and raises the bars on the 3 cybers over there. So you can alternate it that way. But sorry, bemused, I didn't make use of the gimmick here. I just dealt with the fight kind of how it gave it to me, and then because of the elastic collision there, I got bounced off and couldn't get the megasphere. And then just to mention briefly that first phase of things, once you get kind of once the like Hell Knights start spawning in, what I did is I just killed the revs to get in control. At this point, when it's the Hell Knights, I just make a couple of just, you know, U shapes here, just try to get in control, throw some BFG shots at them. I don't know that that's making too much of a difference, but I usually do that, just relieve a little bit of pressure from here. Keep going around, and then I see a nice opportunity to go in and grab those cells, and often I will grab the supercharge immediately, like as an emergency there, but health is really good, so I just took it because why not? Everything was fine at this point. So anyway, go ahead and clean up a little bit, and then once we get to a nice stable position, I just get back here and I start rocketing. Now I don't want to be doing this too much because you can't really, I mean, you know, there's a lot going on visually, so you can't really see what's going on with the cybers very well unless you're really paying attention. So I just, when I'm back here, I just continue to like strafe to the side. That was scary. All 3 of them shot, and I'm trying to like navigate that, but yeah. And the next thing to do to get out of this, you got to shoot these 2 switches. Now you could just kill these cybers, but shooting those switches makes it so that they teleport away and die. And I would like to keep the ammo. It's really helpful ammo. So they teleport away, and I just get back in there and grab any of the resources that I need for the remainder of the map. Yeah, so there's that and that, and of course another soul sphere from the cybers that I never got close to. But yeah, so that fight, I maybe lost one attempt at that fight or something. It's not the craziest fight in the world. I like how it's designed. I think that maybe there was ways to force you to use that gimmick some more, but it's all right. Well, anyway, I got just a couple of little scuffles here, just 2-3 guys at a time. Use your BFG, just a little, I guess, just a little ammo drain or something. um, Interesting. Okay. Yeah, 2 arch files here. Nice damage roll on that BFG shot. It's a 25% chance that you can kill a arch file like that. Now this fight. So there are 3 more fights. This is the first one, and this one, it was really nice that I saved so much, so much health and armor from the fight before. So that makes things easier here for sure. And I come here, kill the pain elementals, kill that arch file, and then some more cells. Push around, and then here you need to pay attention, adapt to whatever this cyber is doing. If you can't make it to that megasphere and you need to come in this corner and then go back somehow, fine. Just whatever you do, just be careful with that cyber. I did lose an attempt to that cyber in particular, because I just sort of like came out of the like crowd of enemies, and then there was cyber right there and killed me. So when I saw the cyber infighting, I'll show you. Yeah, I saw that cyber infighting, and I didn't want to walk over there, so I just did this instead. Push around, and as you keep going around like that, you'll get in control. Had to make sure that guy was done with his rocket, so I waited a second, and I didn't see a rocket come, so I went ahead and walked across. Just throwing in a couple of these like split-second decisions that I think of. Stopped myself because of the infighting rev missile or non-homing missile. Yeah. Now we're at the cleanup stage, which is really nice. Just gotta watch out for those infighting rockets always, but pretty much in control at this point. Now, for these last 3 fights between this and the final secret fight and then the finale, the big thing for me has been resources. So if I have a lot of health from the previous encounter, if I have a lot of cells that I can grab from the previous encounter, that is really helpful to me. That's something that makes those fights easier. So I can spam more freely, and I can also save a health item and then grab it whenever I'm like actually in trouble. So that's good stuff. So I saved those 2 cell packs. I actually was considering grabbing a second one to get to 600, but I'm glad I didn't, because it gave me an extra 5 shots for the finale. So you'll see. Hit those couple of switches and open up this area. Just this rev here, kind of guiding you where to go there. Now, so this the reason for all those secret fights, you get all those extra keys and you get a chainsaw. Nah, you get much more than that. You get gameplay down here. So, all 6 keys required. This is the big reward that we get. Now, I go and just rocket down these cacos. I always think about that in fights like this. Like, does it really matter? Or if I just had my BFG out and I just maneuvered myself, is that better to just focus on dodging? I never know. But since I have a decent amount of health, I can hold off on the megasphere. I'm not in a super big rush to grab it right away, so I can do something like that, and then as things get more crowded, I can just go ahead and grab the first megasphere. And I grabbed that one in particular. It's a pretty technical way that I like to do this fight. So I grab that one, and then do more damage to these flyers, make it so that there's more space to run around. BFG ammo runs out. I grab those. This is gonna be hard to grab those later on in this fight. Yeah, as we keep going, now the chain gunners spawn in. That's the first sign that you're gonna have the next phase coming up. As soon as those guys die, I turn around and I go in for these manx. They open up slightly after the chain gunners, but I go in for the manx, and then I do this move. So I come right here, back, and then through here, and then I go round like this, and then megasphere. If I don't feel like I can make it through, just go ahead and grab that megasphere, and that's good enough for me. Now that was super lucky. I could have really lost it there. And then we took a pretty decently low damage roll from the Cyber Demon rocket there. That was also pretty lucky. So I gotta say, you know, I had decent consistency in this fight, but basically anytime I beat this fight, it looked like that. There was some point where I either had to force myself through revs by holding W and BFGing, or maybe I took a rocket, or like I, you know, just got out of it with just barely enough health, and I'm walking around one Revenant missile away from death. Is usually how it would go with this in practice, but yeah, it was decent consistency. Yeah, now I'm looking around for resources. You know, on the best runs, I've managed to come out of here with almost a full Megasphere to spare, almost a full Megasphere to carry into the finale. But this time, health is not great, and but cells are decent. You know, you get the energy cell pack that's there, and then you get a couple. I had a couple more saved here. I thought they were here for whatever reason, but right here, I had the 2 more there, which is good. But yeah, now this finale, I had a lot of complaints about this finale back then, but anyway, go and stack some BFG tracers, and I just go in on this cyber, this middle one that doesn't teleport away. And I just try to kill him as quickly as possible, and just keep moving those big circles. Hopefully, don't get killed by those cybers. And that cyber right there, that was right in front of us, he took a bunch of damage because he took a second to spawn away. So that was really interesting, really weird that happened that way in this fight. But I mean, I have no complaints here. Now once we you know, get those cybers killed, I like to get in this corner. Pigs are gonna keep on spawning in, just individual BFG shots just to keep control of that corner of things. But yeah, then I turn around, pigs were done spawning in, I can go ahead and just pull out my rocket launcher. If you do that too early, you'll rocket your face on pigs, so just make sure they're done spawning in before you start doing this to clean up. Now at this point, I only had 2 BFG shots, so I didn't have a lot of BFG if I needed to like push out of that corner in a really like bad situation. So I just went ahead and just made my way out and found you know, pulled them away from this corner so I can come back in here and have a better chance cleaning up. And this is it. I was feeling good. You know, I was looking at my health a couple times, and at this point, cybers were dead. I was rocketing these things down, and I was thinking, there's no way. Like, really? Like, the first time I make it to the finale, I'm just going to survive? And I did. It was the first time making it past that big fight on the, like, red poison-looking floor. Not the secret fight, the 2 fights before this. That was the like latest death that I had, was at that fight, and I never died in the secret fight with the 6 keys. I never died in this fight, so that's super. So I'm really happy about that. Yeah, used the berserk to switch to the chain gun, and then clean these guys up really nicely. So I gotta say, you know, so the biggest choke points again on this map is those 2 secret fights that I had mentioned. The one where you have to take out the cyber first, turn around, and there's revs and manx. And then the other choke point is when you have to drop down and you have to kill those 3 stationary cybers before the invisibility comes out. And then really just those last 3 fights. Those last 3 fights, you know, I think they require a lot of practice. But I got decent consistency with all of them. The finale in particular, I had a lot of complaints with the finale because I felt that really my whole run is kind of in those cybers' hands, because if they all just start shooting all at once, it feels like it's hard to find, you know, a good movement pattern that would avoid all of that. But it's okay, you know, I took them out. I think that's why, you know, the best thing to do is to stack a bunch of tracers and try to kill that first one as quickly as possible. And then you'll get the infighting situation going and just try to adapt to the situation from there. So that's really good. Different routes on this map is what I managed to come up with. You know, definitely try your own. And I think that, you know, that's a mark of a really good map. So thanks to Bemused for that. And then, yeah. Well, hope you guys enjoyed. The next time, come back with map 31. Peace.